Okay guys, so this is the back part, drafting of the back part of a basic bodice, and as usual I've actually taken the liberty to bring out my margin lines. Okay, so here we're having our center back. You have your center back, okay, and here you have your top line. So I'm going to start. We're doing actually the very same thing, okay, but there are some adjustments that we'll be doing here at the back. Okay, so I'm going to still impute the same things I did: your armhole measurement, my waist measurement, and my hip, not and anyway, after my waist is my hip. Mark it and then mark your full length, please. I'm trying to move this to mark that, so I'm just marking my full length people, and I'm using 14. Okay, so I'll repeat the same thing here. I do this because I just want to try and get a straight line when I'm ruling this, so I'm just marking them at different points. Okay, so that's that. So once you're done doing that, like you did for the front, please just turn them into straight lines. So I'm turning that. Is my waist I'm marking now. Okay. My hip. Okay. And then my full length. You're not seeing that, but that's just what I'm doing, please. So I've just done all those lines. Okay, so the same thing I did, I'm going to impute. I'm coming this way 3 inches. Whatever you have for the back is what you're having for the front. And then whatever your shoulder is divided by 2. Mine is 8. I've marked it. Okay. 8. I've marked it. So I'll turn that into a straight line. Then here I'll come down 1 inch for my shoulder slant. Okay. Then join it to the 3 inches at this point. Okay, so like I said for the back as well, I'm going to take my bust divided by 4. So whatever you have, you impute it there. So after doing that, pick up your curve and then draw your armhole curve, you know, at that point. Okay. You can use a smaller part. You can also do it freehand. And like I told you, when you don't have anything, please measure from here out 1 inch and use that. It's fine. So for the waist, I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm adding whatever my waist measurement is, okay, plus 1 inch for my dart. Extend that into a straight line. Okay, so coming down to my hips, I'm going to add whatever my hip measurement is, and then coming down to the end, I'm also doing. Okay, so like I said, whatever you have here at the hip point is the same thing you're going to be having at the down part. Okay, so I will now roll a line. All right, so like I said, if you want yours fitted, let me get a pencil and maybe just explain. Okay, so anyway, before we get that done, you're also going to join your waist to your hip. Okay, so like I said, I don't make mine curvy. I just get it done normally. So I'm joining my waist to my hip. Okay, so what I said I want to show you is, if you want yours penciled at this point, at this your hemline, right, you can come in 1 to 1.5 inches. That's what I said. So this is 1, this is 1.5. Now how much you come in depends on how penciled you want, but also note that if you come in from here 1.5 inches, meaning you're going to have a slit at this point. So now I've taught you, I'm teaching you a whole lot in just this class. I was trying to draft a basic basic pattern. That's actually what I do. So you guys, whenever I put up classes, please just join, because I know what I'm giving you. Okay, so like I said, if you want to make this gown penciled, right, you come from here. 1 inch is fine, 1.5 inch is fine, right? But once you really pencil this gown, you must have a slit at the back. But if you leave it the way it is, you don't need a slit at the back. So now I'm going to be teaching you 2 in 1. So now let's assume you want a slit at the back because we want to pencil it, and I'm coming in 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'll mark. I'm using pencil so I can clean it up, because like I said, in this class I want to make a shift dress. I want to show you how to make a shift dress, but first of all, I'm showing you how to make a basic pattern. Okay, so you can use your ruler or you can use your cord if you have this, right? But please, whatever you have is fine. Okay, so if you have this, look at what I'm doing. It is already aligning properly, so it comes to this point. But let me teach you a trick. In case you don't have a curve, it's not everyone that works with all these things, but like I always tell you, get your tools. It's very, very important. And I used a ruler. See, if I'm going to use a ruler, I'm going to come from this, my hip point, okay, and I am drawing to that point. For me, when you leave this for a plus size and you're sewing for me, you're going to have a funny looking puckered look at the side, and I won't like that. So if you're doing this, you need to eliminate this. So I pick up my curve and I place it. See the way I'm placing it? So when I place it this way, I'm able to blend this back into that my line. That way I've eliminated this small thing that looks small but will turn to 1/2 inch excess at the side of my hip. Those are the experiences that most of us, I'm sure, will be having. Now if you're using this pattern this way, with this slim fitting we have done, please, when you're adding your allowance, as in you're adding your zip allowance, note that you're going to have a slit at the back. That's the only way you can walk freely. Okay, that's the explanation I wanted to make. So I had to use pencil because, like I said, it's a basic bodice. It's when you copy this out, you can now create all these things. So let's move on. So now that I have done that, we are going to, the next thing we'll do is to impute our dart. So you come back to your waistline. Okay, so what we did was to take our bust distance. Like I said, your nipple to nipple divided by 2. Mark it here. Every measurement starts from here. That's what I said. So when you mark that, remember we added 1 inch for our dart allowance. Okay, so you're going to take out that 1 inch from here. 1/2 inch comes to your side, 1/2 inch comes to my side. Share your 1 inch. That's my half there, that's my half here. Okay, so for this back, I'm going to also come to my chest point and mark the same bust distance divided by 2. And down here, I'm going to be coming down 5.5 inches for the back. Okay, front we did 4 inches, back we're coming down 5.5, and I'll mark, but I'll also confirm that I'm still having 4.5. Okay, then turn it into a straight line. What are we trying to? We're just trying to create our dart. Okay, so I've turned that into a straight line. Now at this chest point, come down 1 inch. So I've marked down 1 inch. That is where you're going to link your dart to. That part have come down. So now close up or join up your dart legs. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, that's what I am doing. So I've done that. Now you're going to have a zip to this dress. In all this drafting I did, let's finish with the neckline anyway. I've not added any allowances. I'm drafting the exact body measurement. So for the front, I'm going to come down 1 inch. You can come down between 1 and 1.5, but 1 is the basic. Because people keep calling me to ask, please ma, what is the standard? When you're drafting a pattern, the back is 3 by 1. Front is 3 by 3. For children, the front is 2 by 2, and the back is 2 by 1. Most 1/2 inch is fine as well. Okay, so just do your straight line. I just always do this. It's a guide. Then you pick up your any curve you want. place it from your 3 inches and draw into, have you seen that? So I just have my beautiful neckline there. Now it's when you're done with this pattern, in the school I teach them to copy this out. So they copy out into another pattern paper, and then we add our allowances. So if you're going to have a zip to this dress, you're going to be adding the zip at this part. I'm going to add the zip here because I'm going to copy this out to teach you how to make a shift dress. So I will show you the zip part here. So apart from the zip, the only other thing you're meant to do here is to add your allowances. At the neck, 1/2 inch, shoulder half, armhole half, the side whatever you want, between 1 inch to 2 inches. So you can do 1, you can do 1.5, you can as well do 2. Okay, for the front is on fold, so you're not adding anything. But for this back, the zip part, we are going to add allowances. If you choose to, you can actually use 1. You're adding an allowance here, you can use 1.5, but I do 1 and I teach my students any 1 is fine. Okay, but then remember that your back is not straight, your back is curving, so we are going to create that curve at the back. If you do what I'm teaching you, I bet you, go to my page, you see those fitted clothes they wear. This is what I teach them. That's how they do it. Okay, so at this waist point, you're going to come in 1/2 inch. So from here, I'm coming into this pattern 1/2 inch, and I'll mark. Have you seen that? I'm going to draw my line from that place to my neckline. You don't have to take it all the way up. You can actually stop at about 2. Measure your neckline maybe 2 inches somewhere here. So that line, it goes up to that point. So I came down 2 inches and you draw down that way. Anyone you want is fine. Okay. So see, I've placed my ruler. Even if you're cutting freehand, please do exactly the same thing. There's no difference. What I'm doing here is exactly like you would have done your freehand. See, I drew that line. Okay. And then here, I'm not going to take this line from here to my hip point. If I draw it that way, you won't, this dress is going to be tight because you've messed up with your hip measurement. So what I do, you find a midpoint between here and here, and I've picked here. I just picked a point where you're seeing my tip of the color pointing. So I'll just take that drawing, that curved back to that point. Okay. You don't have sharp, so just make that part, smoothen it. Have you seen what we have? So now we are going to add our allowances from the new back that we have just made. So I'm going to add my 1 inch now, just to show you. Okay. So I'm adding this 1 inch from that part. So I'm just adding the 1 inch allowance for the zip that I said you should add. Now there's another trick I'm supposed to teach you, you know, but I'll leave that for another class so I don't overcrowd you. But I would teach you how to create a bum, give bum to this. So by the time you wear it, it will look as if you padded the person's bum. Meanwhile, you didn't do anything. You just created that effect on this dress. So have you seen this pattern? So I've moved it so you can see. So please, at this point, just join up straight. So extend your neckline to that point. Please you don't have to follow my neckline. This is a basic neckline that I did. Okay? So do yours. I have taught you what the basic pattern is. You can use this basic pattern to do a whole lot of things. So the next video I'm going to send now is going to be how to use this basic pattern. I'm going to copy it out to create a shift dress. And we're going to make a very lovely shift dress out of this.